Cavy Central Guinea Pig Rescue. Hi Piggy Peeps, Lynn from Cavy Central here. Today's topic is about breeding. It's a very controversial topic and it's one that comes up all the time, and certainly we have a lot that we see here in rescue that I'd like to chat with you about today. So breeding, why do people breed, and in particular breed guinea pigs, which this page of course is all about. There are two areas that we look at with breeding, and one is intentional breeding. So we have those people that want to intentionally breed their pets to produce offspring. And the second area is accidental breeding scenarios where people didn't expect it. They may have tried to avoid it, not thought it possible, but in whatever circumstance it is accidental. So they're the two areas that we see all the time in rescue. Why do they breed when we look at intentional breeders? Well, let's narrow that down and delve a bit deeper into intentional breeding. And there tends to be two categories within intentional breeders. The first we would class as breeders that belong to associations, groups of people, organizations that want to intentionally breed a particular guinea pig. It might be that they love a particular trait about a guinea pig, a different hairstyle, different eye color. For whatever reason, they feel that they want to be involved in the promotion of that particular strain, if you'd like, or variety. Now, we all appreciate guinea pigs and the huge variety of colors and coats and styles that they have, and certainly there are many clubs that continue and perpetuate this breeding cycle. My question is, why add to the numbers that are already in rescue? So regardless of your passion and desire to actually want these particular guinea pigs, or to inherently make one particular trait really strong, why choose to add to the numbers? So guinea pigs can have up to 8 in a litter, and I've had several of them over the years have that. The average size of a litter would be 3 to 4. And so any number in that array. Regardless of why the breeding is actually happening, once it occurs, how is it then going to be housed, looked after, cared for, and hopefully have a relationship that is good in an environment that's healthy? So all those questions start to pop up. So if you are actively breeding within one of these programs and you're very keen to produce and move forward in that area, there are a lot of guinea pigs being bred that simply can't be housed because you want to have different cycles of breeding. So they then are sold into the public or disposed of through whatever means, when we already have an overpopulation of guinea pigs that actually need homes. So again, my question is why? Why do that to perpetuate it when we have so many that need to find homes? Okay, so the second type of breeder that we have in that area, the first type are breeders who do this as an intended form of breeding. The second are what we would refer to as a backyard breeder. Now, a backyard breeder tends to be someone who is more interested in making small dollars and cents from guinea pigs, and in the way that they're doing that, they mass produce them. So they may be supplying, for example, pet shops, they may be supplying the public, generally at a very low, cheap rate, because they get them very quickly. They become overpopulated very quickly. It gets out of hand very quickly. And in these scenarios, whenever we encounter them as a rescue, we always find an enormous amount of problems with mites, with mange, with huge issues that take hold simply by way of numbers and the way that it's actually being done and the population growth that occurs there. So there's this breeding concept of either intentionally breeding or being a backyard breeder, which literally just lets us already have an oversupply and many needing homes. So again, my question to you is why? Accidental breeding is in the other camp, where we have people who have, for example, purchased 2 guinea pigs. They may have intended for them to be male or to be female, and that process has failed at some point. Someone has got it wrong. whatever the reason, it's ended up in an accidental situation. What tends to happen and what we see in rescue is that people will have a surprise one morning where they have a number of guinea pigs arrive, and it's all very exciting, particularly if they obtained guinea pigs to begin with and they've got children in their own household. So it becomes a very exciting time when you have little ones that have arrived. But of course, the issue there is one of lack of knowledge and lack of housing, lack of ability to actually act very quickly to get control of that scenario. So within 3 to 4 weeks, that process of that group of guinea pigs, if they're not looked after well, if they're not managed and separated at the right times, we then quickly find that the second litter are then pregnant, and from there it perpetuates. So it's very easy for families that have an accidental situation to actually then fall into a scenario where it's out of hand and they can't manage it any longer. Usually in the accidental situation they have one cage, which of course can house, you know, perhaps 2 guinea pigs, perhaps 3, but certainly as families then grow, they don't have the ability to actually manage and to break that up into males and females and to separate it and to do everything at the right time frame so that all of them are being managed and handled and looked after well. And it just simply gets out of control. So again, really, really sad. Raising awareness around breeding is one of the key areas that we can actually help distill this down and help people understand that it does lead to a bit of a nightmare down the track, that not all of their friends and their children's friends want guinea pigs, that they simply cannot have this cycle continuing on without it becoming a real burden in the way of cost, in the way of housing, in the way of the actual animals remaining healthy, and in the way of stopping future cycles so that of course it doesn't continue. So if you quickly just write down on a piece of paper, for example, a pair of guinea pigs have 3 guinea pigs, let's say, and 2 of those are female, and then each of those, including the mother, goes on to have, say, 4 guinea pigs, you can see within a really short space of time the sorts of numbers we're talking about and how it gets out of control. Okay. Going on from there, I'd like you to meet someone really, really special who I've not had on camera before. And this is to highlight some of the aspects that we see here in rescue all the time. Now, this guinea pig is just on 3 years of age. She's very, very special. And as with all people who are involved in rescue, who are involved in rescue, they have a number of animals that come to them that are perhaps not in the best condition, mistreated, have all sorts of issues. This little guinea pig came to me as a baby. She was 1 day of age. Her name is Muffin, and I'd like to introduce her to you. Hey, Muffin, you can hop up here. It's a bit tricky, actually. I'll do it this way. I'm going to put Muffin on. She's on her carrier. This is Muffin. And what you'll notice about Muffin is that firstly, she's absolutely gorgeous. She's beautiful. So she's nearly 3, and you'll notice the extensive deformities that Muffin has. Now, you would think that she finds it difficult to move around. She actually uses those limbs in a strange way that actually enables her to be fully mobile. So she's more than happy and comfortable at this point in time. However, Muffin has come to be through breeding, and in this particular instance, the family that had her most likely were not aware of problems that can be inherent when you do have a litter of any type of animal, that sometimes there are animals with deformities that will arrive. Animals can be dead at birth, animals can be deformed, and certainly from the genetic issues that we know about with guinea pigs, there are other things like lethals that can result if you don't simply know what is likely to occur. Now, if you're a young family and you have children, this is not necessarily what you want to see as an outcome in any scenario. So again, why breed? But secondly, why have the possibility of trauma like this within your own family coming to pass. Muffin is nearly 3 years of age. She's a permanent member here at Leeds Guinea Pig, and there are a number of them. So they can live quite happily. Issues with Muffin are going to be quite extensive going into the future because her weight bearing ability is changed from what would normally be expected. So that's a whole other scenario we can talk about in another live. But I wanted to introduce Muffin to you to show you potentially what can actually happen, and if people are not aware of potential issues. For those who haven't seen Muffin, let's just bring her back. Muffin is a permanent member here, and she has severe deformities through breeding. Muffin is typical of guinea pigs that we see through rescue, where things go wrong, and the actual story behind Muffin we might do separately because we're having such a fragmented time here. But that's the reality of what can happen. Lethals are another form of deformity that can occur with guinea pigs, where they're actually called microphthalmics. They're usually white. They can be born blind. They may even be dead born. There's enormous issues through the genetic side. And again, the real question stems from why breed when there are so many that are already needing homes out there. What can we do if a family is really wanting to experience, for example, birth for whatever reason? I don't see the necessity for that, but let's say they do. You can foster guinea pigs, and there may be pregnant guinea pigs in care with little ones, and that's certainly a fostering option. So you're actually being responsible for guinea pigs that do need homes. You're teaching your children the value of responsibility, but also what happens in the process in finding new homes and how you can actually help.